Welcome in to my YouTube channel, My Old Souls. I am Old Soul Starseed. So if you are an old soul, a starseed, a light worker, you may resonate with my readings. And you don't have to be any of these things to resonate with my readings as well. But today I'm going to be doing a reading on Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde starts tomorrow and ends on March 20th. We have 2 weeks pre Mercury Retrograde pre-shadow, and then you have 2 weeks after the post Mercury Retrograde, which I like to think is the time where we can integrate everything that happened during Mercury Retrograde. So I believe that all Mercury retrogrades serve a purpose in our journey. There are certain things that we need to learn, or there's certain things that we are integrating into our life. So I wouldn't necessarily look at Mercury retrograde as being a bad thing, because it all depends on how you view it and how you want to integrate that into your life and in the things that you are experiencing. So also, Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Pisces, and we are in Pisces season. So we have a lot of Piscean energy going through this Mercury retrograde. So as you get to know me and we get to know each other on my channel, you'll know that I am also learning astrology and I'm doing the tarot thing. I've had a TikTok, and I've had some other things that the other platforms that I've been on that I post readings on. So this will be my first YouTube exclusive tarot reading. So this is going to be a little bit more long and more in depth than the readings that I usually post, because the readings that I usually post are from TikTok, and that's okay. We all got to start somewhere. So I felt like this was the time to really put myself out there and really go after what I want, which I hope and encourage you to do as well, to always go after the things that you want and you desire, because that is what we are on this journey for. So during this Mercury retrograde, I have pulled a bunch of cards. All the cards that I use today are spirit animal. They have spirit animals on them, or they're part of an animal deck. But I really love animals, and I just appreciate the synchronicities that come with that. So to get this reading started, we're going to start off with tarot. So we have the Six of Wands in reverse, and what I'm feeling like with this card is that during the beginning of this Mercury retrograde, you are clinging on or hanging on to something that you need to let go. And that's what I'm getting with the feelings of it being in reverse. What is in your life that is not serving your highest good that you can let go of, that you can release? The universe wants you to release those things, to release it and let it be part of the things that you're integrating into this Mercury retrograde. So we have the Knight of Cups. And I feel like with the Six of Wands in reverse, that this Knight of Cups is saying, once you can release these things that are not serving your highest good, you're going to be able to step into new feelings of emotional stability, new feelings of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about life, and maybe even how you feel about the things that are happening during this Mercury retrograde. So the real thing that I get is, and you see he's, the buck spiritually represents transformation, and you have him standing next to a river. So you are transforming in this process of this Mercury retrograde as well. So allow yourself to release the things that are no longer serving you, so that you can tap into your emotions. You can tap into how you really feel about everything and the things that are going on around you and the things that are going on in your life during this time period. So we have the Three of Cups. And you see on this card, that there's snakes. And what I'm getting from this with the snakes and the cups is that during this Mercury retrograde, you will be shedding, as well as, bringing in, what I really get from this Three of Cups is, the the typical meaning of it as being something to celebrate. Once you are able to tap into your emotions, to your emotional stability, you will be able to shed these things that are not serving your highest good, and you'll be able to celebrate. You'll be able to build a community from that, and that's what I'm really getting. But these snakes really remind me that you are shedding during this Mercury retrograde. You are shedding all that doesn't serve you. So you are going to snap out of this, feeling like you need to cling on to something, or just not being able to release these things that are in your, in your life, that for some reason you're not wanting to let go of, because that's what I get with that Six of Wands in reverse. So we have the Queen of Wands, and it's a pretty cool card because it's got a black cat on it and the sunflower, and I really like the artist work on these cards. It's the Woodland Wardens, which I have the tarot deck and the oracle deck, which I did pull some oracles from this deck as well. But the thing that I'm getting with the Queen of Wands is for you to really, once you start shedding and you really do start releasing these things that aren't serving your highest good, you're gonna really sit with yourself and come into alignment with what you want to go after, what you desire. Because the Queen of Wands to me always reminds me of like that fire, passion energy. So you can use the Mercury retrograde for the betterment of you going after your dreams and your desires. And that's what I really feel like. And black cats, black cats get a bad rap. I actually own a black cat, and you've always heard the thing about how the black cat is bad luck, but I look at the black cat as being good luck, because they're different. They're not always wanted, and so it takes a special person to really love and care for a black cat. And so that's what I really get with you, is you're going to learn to really love and accept yourself, even if those around you don't accept you, because the feelings and what other people think about you are going to be outweighed by the things that you want to go after, your dreams, your desires, and these manifestations, whatever it is that you're going through. Because we just started going through the year of the horse, which brings in a lot of fire energy. So this is you standing with yourself and standing with who you are and being confident about what you want. And it's taken you a lot of transformation and a lot of shedding to get to this spot. So be proud of that, because it takes a lot of inner work, and not everybody wants to do that inner work. So here we have the Judgment card, and you see there's a butterfly on it and some bees. And what I get with the butterfly, again, is transformation and new beginnings, that rebirth kind of essence coming out into your energy. So I feel like with you tapping into your inner desires and you being confident about that, that's helping you to tap into who you really are. And that's like what I get with the Judgment card, is you being able to say, I know what I went through, and I know what I deserve, and the universe is going to back me up and help me get there, because it took you through all these stages to get to this point where you can say, okay, now I'm transforming, now I'm where I want to be, and I can be confident in who I am. And that butterfly is there to remind you that you are transforming into who you were always meant to be, and who you are going to be on your journey. So bottom of the deck, we had the Queen of Pentacles. And in my reading earlier that I did on TikTok, my bottom of the deck was the King of Pentacles. But so we have energy going towards your manifestations during this Mercury retrograde. Be aware of your energy. Be aware of what's going on around you. So if you get those, those flukes with your technology, or things that are breaking down, things that aren't just working out, just know that those things are aligning you to get you to where you really want to be. And that's being able to enjoy yourself, enjoy the things that you've worked for, your literal pinnacles. What is abundance to you, because that's what you're going to be working towards. You're transforming into your own abundance. And I really feel like this abundance comes from your transformation, it comes from the things that you have been shedding and everything that you've been working towards. And that's a really beautiful thing. And, so there's a lot of shedding, there's a lot of releasing, and I have no doubt in my mind that you can't get past, these things that you're clinging on to get to where you really want to be, which is, your manifestations, your dreams, your desires, the abundance, your true abundance in your journey. All right, so moving on, I'm gonna read from some oracles that I pulled. So we have secret spring success. So we are close to spring, right? And you have this little fairy, and you have the moon, and it looks like a new moon to me. But in the springtime, you are going to really start to feel your success. And this Mercury retrograde is running to the spring equinox, or at least where I'm at, we're heading into the spring equinox. So I really feel like all these things, and 1111 on my timer, so that number could be significant, you could be seeing it, but you have success coming in the springtime. And I would also pay attention to the moon cycles with that, that what looks like a new moon. Maybe this next new moon is very significant to you during this Mercury retrograde, because on March 3rd, we have the full moon, and we also have a lunar eclipse. So we have all kinds of transits and all kinds of different things going on during this Mercury retrograde. But you have been building up ever since the beginning of this year, and since last year when we had the year of the snake, all that shedding, so you have the snake showing up again, saying that you are still shedding the few last things that you need to move on into your journey. And all that work that you've brought in, I really get a lot of energy of just, there's going to be breakthroughs in the springtime, and you're going to be working towards that success, that abundance that you have been working towards. So next to that, we have dragon power. And you see the dragon, it looks like it's got a crystal ball in front of it. And to me, that reminds me of like the Pisces energy. We have Pisces season on top of a Pisces Mercury retrograde. So, I think what the universe is saying to you is tap into your spiritual gifts, tap into your inner wisdom, the inner mysteries that lie within you. And you have worked so hard to transform into this person that you are. So now is the best time to tap into your gifts. What is it about yourself that you haven't been tapping into? What is it about yourself that is going to come to light? Maybe your psychic abilities are going to heighten during this time, and you're definitely going to have heightened intuition, because I feel that very much. And dragons are very powerful, so I feel like you have very powerful intuition, you have very powerful psychic abilities. Even if you haven't quite tapped into those yet, it's coming, and you're going to be feeling that. So we have foggy bog patience. So just know, as you're going through this Mercury retrograde, and as you're going through all these transitions, these transformations, it's going to require you to have a little bit of patience. Just understand that, yes, we plant these seeds, but we also have to wait for these seeds to grow. And that's an important thing in and out of Mercury retrograde. So it's not just important now, but the universe is letting you know you need to have a little bit of patience, especially because what is coming up on the horizon. You have success, you have power, you have abundance, you have all these beautiful things in this reading that you are going after, that you are coming into alignment with. So we have dragonfly spirit change. And I also feel like this ties into the last card with the patience. There's change coming in your life for sure. And I just love dragonflies. I live in Michigan, so it's about to start getting warm out in the springtime. And I have sat next to the river and meditated, and I can't tell you how many times I've opened my eyes and there was dragonflies on my feet. One time I opened my eyes and there was 3 dragonflies on my feet. And if you are so lucky to have that happen to you, just know that means that, you have that frequency of love radiating out of you, that animals feel safe and they remember you, and they know that you are a safe haven and that they could land on you. they can come and meditate with you, because it really feels like that way sometimes, But so know the dragonfly spirit that you have change coming into your life. And it's going to take you patience to also, integrate this change, because change can be sudden or it can be, slow over a time. But just know that during this Mercury retrograde, that things are changing in your life. They're changing in everything that you do, because you're shedding, you're transforming. So of course change is going to be there. So maybe you've been seeing butterflies, maybe you've been seeing dragonflies. There's a lot of significant animals in this reading. So you can drop me a comment and let me know if any of these animals in this reading, that if you've been seeing them, because I personally love to see animals, and I really think that that's a very significant synchronicity. So we have 555 on the timer too. So 555 represents change. So remember that when you see 555 or you see a dragonfly, that you have change coming in your life. So next to that, we have waterfall miracles. Oh, I'm sorry, rainbow waterfall miracles. And also look at this card. You have 2 butterflies on the bottom. So I'm telling you, there is a lot of transforming energy in your field right now with what is going on with Mercury retrograde. You're like in your caterpillar stage right now, and you are about to become this big beautiful butterfly when the spring comes, and I really feel that. So also, we have this card that had the river on it, and now we have a card that has a waterfall. So water could be significant in your healing, and we also have a waterfall on this card as well. So there's a lot of water energy, which makes sense, being in the Pisces energy, and I feel like a lot too, there's cups in the reading. Tap into your emotions, tap into your psychic abilities, get in touch with yourself, however that may be. Maybe there's a call to get out in nature, or maybe there's a call to experience, time with animals, or just time observing animals, observing, butterflies, or anything like that, and maybe it's time to take a hike. Take a hike to a waterfall, take a hike to a river, sit next to the river, and let that energy embody you, so that you can get more in touch with yourself, more in touch with your emotions. Because I feel like as these spiritual gifts are heightening and coming more into play, that is definitely going to take you to be able to, be in touch with your emotions, be in touch with how you feel about yourself, with the things that are happening, because this is a lot of energy to take in, a lot of power, a lot of success, a lot of transformation. So you really got to be in touch with yourself and your emotions. So as your gifts heighten, learn to be aware of yourself and how you're feeling during that time. And I would recommend, anytime that you get any intuition, anytime that you get any clarity, downloads, or anything like that you experience, to write those down. So if you happen to be out in nature and you don't have a notebook on you, pop your phone out. That's what I do. Sometimes I will meditate, and when I get a download, I instantly open my phone and I write that down, or I write it in the notes on my phone, so that I can keep track of that, because those are going to be important on your journey, and it could be important to why you got that download next to water, or why you got that download while you were out in nature. And it could be something that you integrate into your journey later on. So we have waterfalls and we have rainbows. So you could be seeing any of this stuff. I mean, these are all really beautiful synchronicities, by the way. I love to see rainbows, and I love experiencing nature, and I hope that you guys do too. And if not, maybe this will be an inspiration for you to go out and experience nature, because there's just so many beautiful things out there, All right, so now we have the Woodland Warden's Oracle cards after we got through. These are the Sacred Forest Oracle. That's the ones that I just used, and now we're going on to the Woodland Wardens. All right, so we have the Boar and the Pumpkin Confidence. This Mercury retrograde, you are going to be transforming into your true confidence. And with these pumpkins on the card and the boar, I feel like what you are integrating in the springtime that's coming with the success is going to follow all the way to the fall time, and you are going to be harvesting that successful energy into yourself. You are going to be, everything that you are working for has a purpose. Everything that you are working towards is going to head towards your abundance, is going to head towards your dreams, and that's very beautiful. So we have the goat and the willow, overcoming obstacles. This Mercury retrograde is going to teach you how to overcome some of your obstacles that you've been going through. What are these challenges that you're going through, and how can you integrate these challenges into becoming your success? Because a lot of times, like these mishaps that happen during Mercury retrograde, we might look at that as being a bad thing, but how can you integrate those mishaps and those misfortunes into your light, into your success? Learn how to alchemize your feelings, learn how to alchemize the things that you go through into your light, into your energy, into the things that you are working towards. So we have the hare and the oak, new opportunities. So not only are you transforming, not only are you overcoming obstacles, but you're coming into new opportunities. And I feel like these opportunities are definitely coming in the springtime. You've been working hard, and whether or not anybody acknowledges that, just know that the universe is always watching you. The divine always knows what you're doing, and the divine recognizes your work. And more importantly, make sure that you are recognizing the things that you are doing, because that is very important. All right, so next to that, we have the caiman and the poppy, dreams. So maybe it's significant to pay attention to your dreams, just like I said with the notebook next to the river, next to the water, when you get those downloads out in nature. When you wake up in the morning and you can remember your dream, write it down. And even if you can only remember like a small little snippet, write it down. Because sometimes I go back and I read the dreams that I wrote down, and sometimes I don't even remember them. But and also sometimes I'm half awake. Oh, we have 2222 on the timers just now when I looked up. But there's something significant about your dreams, and I also feels like with success, miracles, change, patience, you are going to be heading towards your dreams as far as like manifestations. So you got a lot of good energy in this reading. You got a lot of energy going towards like what you're working on, your passions, your desires, and there is a lot of transformation in this reading. So during this Mercury retrograde, you are metamorphosizing into who you are transforming into, and that's really what I'm getting. But I mean, like, so far the energy in this reading is very good, and I hope that these cards are resonating with you, because I feel like this is definitely talking to somebody. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who has really been putting in the work, and that is coming out in this reading. So next to that, we have the quail and the gooseberry, anticipation. Anticipate the best. Anticipate your dreams coming true. And that's what I'm getting with this, is like, anticipate only the best for yourself, because you have miracles coming in. So anticipate that beautiful energy. Anticipate that you will be stepping into your power, that you have everything, you're going to have everything you dream and desire of, because you put in the work and you believe in yourself. And that's one thing that I will always forever and ever and ever say. It's been my slogan since I started doing this, is to believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, know that anything is possible for you and what you're doing. Because I can tell you right now, if I would have never believed in myself, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So it takes that little bit of energy to just believe in yourself and know that you are it sounds so cliche. Yeah, believe in yourself and anything is possible, but it's true. If you believe you can do something, then that's going to be the premise of how you operate. Gotta get this notification off here, sorry. All right, so to end this reading, I pulled a spirit animal card, but two of them popped out, so we're gonna take both of them. So the first one that I pulled is dolphin, play. Swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow. So here we have dolphins. So now we have some tropical animals coming out, because a lot of these animals that we pulled are kind of foresty and kind of birds. Well, we did have the alligator. It says the caiman. I'm not quite sure. I've never heard that reference before, so I don't know if that's an alligator or a what's the other one? Crocodile. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. So we have dolphin, play. And I feel like this is saying to go with the flow, and don't, remember to also experience the joys of life. Be happy as you're experiencing these things. Learn to not be so serious as you're transforming, because it can be easy to get lost in the mundane. It can be easy to forget that we're here to have fun, to forget that we're having this human experience that allows us to be happy to experience joy as much as we experience the other things that we experience. And you have exhale fear. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. So I feel like this is also saying, like, as you're meditating, inhale the confidence and exhale any fear that you have, and bring on that playful side of life. Do that while you're meditating. And again, look at that. We have the ocean, so we have more water. So we have a lot of powerful water energy in this reading for Pisces and for Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So there's a lot of energy to tap into your inner power. Tap into your emotions so that you know that you are always where you want to be, with how you want to experience and what emotions you want to feel as you're going through life, which I feel like most people, just like me, you want to experience happiness. You want to experience joy. The universe is reminding you to do that. Experience joy, experience happiness as you're going through this journey, because it's very important to do that. All right, so we have the ram, perseverance. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. So, as I said earlier, I feel like your gifts are going to be opening up. You're going to be tapping into that, that Piscean energy, your spiritual gifts. Check and see where Pisces might land in your chart in astrology, and that could really help you to navigate through Mercury retrograde as well. I have a Pisces in my 9th house. So, check your chart and see where Pisces lands in your chart and how that might affect your life and during this Pisces season. And how you can tap into your spiritual gifts, because we all have intuition, we all have psychic abilities. It's whether or not you want to tap into those things. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you might be a tarot reader, but you don't need to be a tarot reader to be extremely intuitive. You don't need to be a tarot reader to do these things. But if that is where you feel like your life is heading towards, then by all means go after that, because that's what you are meant to do. All right, guys. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. Let me know in the comments. Come back and let me know if you've seen any of these animals, or if any of these synchronicities resonate with you. Also, hit the link in my bio. I have a link tree on my bio, and I have all of the things on my bio. So I have Cash App, I have Venmo, I have my TikTok. You can follow me on all my other platforms. You can send me a donation if so possible. We could set up a personal reading on my link tree, which would be a video reading, a 30-minute video reading. And also, if you've come over and you follow me on TikTok, I'll be doing live readings on there. I haven't quite made it that far here, and I'm still, getting into the gist of it. But I really hope that you guys connect with me, and I really hope to build up this tribe in my collective. And I feel like, come join me in the Old Soul Tribe, because I feel like that's really awesome. But, if you're feeling this reading and you're feeling my energy and we're connecting, please subscribe to me. Please like this video. And please, follow me on the other platforms. And if you're interested, and you want that personal reading, hit me up. All right, guys, remember to always believe in yourself. Anything is possible. I love you guys so much. And until next time. And thank you for being a part of my first YouTube exclusive video. I am so happy to be here and be doing this, and I really hope that you connect with my energy, and I really hope that you enjoy this. All right, guys, I love you so much, and until next time.